Okay, so buckle up, listeners, because today we're diving deep, and I mean deep, into a story that's equal parts bizarre and kind of sad, really. We're talking Cornelius Neil Hogarth, better known as, get this, the Chalk Gobbler.
It's funny. This case, it really makes you think about, where's the line between just a weird habit and like full-blown obsession, and how we humans will go to some pretty strange lengths to feel, connected.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not every day you hear about a guy who's so obsessed with, get this, eating chalk, that he becomes like this local legend, an urban myth almost. So where do we even start with a story like this?
Well, like a lot of these stories, it seems like it all goes back to, good old childhood. The stuff you sent me about Neil, it paints a pretty bleak picture, honestly. Dad's super strict, hardly talks, basically thinks that being emotionally distant is the same as, like, discipline.
And his mom, what
Right.
about her?
From what I gathered, she just really struggled to, like, connect with Neil on an emotional level. Her world was, soap operas and keeping the house spotless. Not a lot of room for, the nurturing a kid needs.
So we're talking about a childhood that was, what, like completely starved for affection, which makes sense. I mean, that's got to make you crave connection,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And that's where the chalk comes in, believe it or not. Picture this. Neil's in the third grade, stuck in detention, probably feeling totally invisible, worthless. And all he's got is that smell of like stale chalk dust and probably a whole lot of resentment brewing.
I can practically smell the desperation.
Right. And in that moment, surrounded by boredom and loneliness, he sees the chalk. And it's not even about the taste because everything describes it as just overwhelmingly bitter, awful. It was the texture, that dry, crumbly feeling. Somehow it was like it like resonated with that emptiness inside him.
It's like, as crazy as it sounds, eating chalk was a way for him to actually feel something, anything, in a life that felt otherwise, I don't know, numb.
Exactly. It was like this what's the word? A totally messed up coping mechanism, a way to deal with all that anxiety and discomfort he's carrying around inside.
And being that this is a deep dive into the deeply strange, of course it doesn't end there. It actually gets, well, a lot weirder. The reports we got, they say he started sneaking chalk from school, like hiding it in his room, eating it at night. It became this like whole secret ritual, his own twisted comfort food.
It makes sense in a way. I mean, this is all he's got, right?
Yeah, and over time, this thing that maybe started as, I don't know, a weird quirk, if you can even call it that, it becomes this all-consuming thing. Like his dependence on chalk, on that specific feeling he got from it, it's the only control he has in his life.
That's such a good point. It's like as Neil gets older, he's not just, passively eating chalk. He's seeking it out, hoarding it. It's like a lifeline.